Hi, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear my follower, welcome on board. Today we are talking about how to perform and follow a non-precision approach like a VOR approach
guys. What is going on?
from
to another V1 live stream coming at you
an airport and how we can enter the holding procedure, also how we can follow the procedure to reaching the final stage of the procedure and landing in a condition that we can perform a non-precision approach or actually 2D approach. We can explain about the differences between the 2D and 3D approaches, and I can talk with you about the two-dimension or 2D approaches, and this approach, which is we will follow the approach for 2-day flight, which is this one for the VOR Zulu runway 05 in Camiso, Italy. This is a not complicated approach procedure. Actually, via runway 05 we can take off via runway 05, follow the actually miss approach procedure, and finally join the holding over the VOR, and then follow the actually procedure, teardrop procedure for joining the final and finish the this VOR procedure according to this chart. But actually we have
a lot to get going here. We are going to be operating VOR to VOR.
When we are talking about the 3D approaches and 2D approaches in general,
and it was very close.
If we can return back to this chart with the chart index 11-1 for ILS runway 05, as you can, this is a 3D approach with the actually ILS navigation system or navigate on the ground to follow, which is give us the localizer as a lateral guidance and the glide slope as a vertical guidance. Actually, the 3D approaches can improve and can cover these procedures, and this actually navigates for the lateral and vertical guidance. But as you can see, for this approach, which is the 2D and non-precision approach for the VOR Zulu runway 05, we can just follow the procedure to join the final and actually follow the VOR guidance and intercept the radials from the VOR to join the actually procedure. But the VOR giving us the lateral guidance, there is no vertical guidance, as you can see here, and we will talk about it more and also later when we going to have a briefing about the chart. In fact, actually, I repeat again that for the 2D approaches like this, we have just have the lateral guidance without any vertical guidance, but for the 3D dimension or 3D approaches, as you can see, for example, ILS for this airport, we have the localizer as lateral guidance and also the glide path and glide slope as a vertical guidance. Okay, let's go into the cockpit and have a look and have a detailed look about this procedure and have a short brief. That's how we can follow this procedure to start this procedure according to this chart. Follow the miss approach procedure, enter the holding after the miss approach procedure completion, and finally start the main procedure of VOR Zulu for runway 05 for landing on runway 05 fine.
Now we have power from the GPU. What we're also going to do is select I'm sorry, I said GPU, but we're going to go ahead and select APU for the essential power. And I'm going to go ahead and move my synchronize when lights are out or switched down here. But this has pretty much all been dumbed down for us here. Back in the day, you used to have to synchronize the frequencies before switching line contact and stuff. Just crazy stuff. But that works for APU. And then what we'll do here is we'll also turn on the galley power while we're sitting at the gate. A couple other things we need to do here is we need to open the cooling doors. I feel like this is extremely loud. Is it loud for you guys? Turn it down.
We have, according to the chart and airboard briefing section, we have some actually briefing about the aerodrome that are related, and we can consider in-flight simulator and also simulation flights, and for this actually type of approach, and for this aerodrome operating minimum is RVR not less than 550 meters for landing and RVR not less than 800 meters for takeoff. As we can see how is the weather condition right now at the airport. Right now, as you can see, the visibility is almost about 5 kilometers, and the sky condition is overcast at 1000 feet with the QNH 1013. Wind also is calm without any wind direction and speed, as you can see. And there is a ground movement for the ramp area, also the taxiways, which actually guide us, and there is also way to continue to join the runway for departure. And actually we are now lined up on the runway, and we will start our procedure and this flight via runway 05, which is almost now we are lining up the runway 05. And there is a note that I studied already regarding the taxiway delta, and also line up for takeoff runway 05 and landing runway 23. Backtrack operation shall be performed within runway end 23.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
There is no notes here on this page, and let's go to the
top altitude level 330. We got that set
procedure VOR Zulu via runway 05 for departure. We have a short brief about this chart, and we will explain and talk about the miss approach procedure and how follow the holding procedure and the approach. Okay, we are after departure. We'll continue for a VOR Zulu runway 05 for Comiso, Italy, according to chart index 13-1. Actually, that's necessary that I explain about the chart index for this index. As you can see, there is 3 digits on the chart index. Each chart index actually, as you can see here, 11-1, and there is 13-1, which shows the first number, which is 1, shows that this procedure, and actually this airport is the first airport of this city. This airport is the first and biggest airport of the Comiso in Italy. The 3 is showing that this is this procedure is the VOR procedure. As you can see here, is the one which is show that this procedure is ILS procedure, and this one after dash, you can see this this is a procedure for first aerodrome of the city, and this is a VOR approach, and this is the first VOR approach for this actually runway. As you can see, VOR Yankee for runway 05 is the number 2 for this runway, and it is a VOR approach.
It will happen.
This chart, as you can see, issued 24 May 2019 with the name of Camiso and the ICAO code of Lima India Charlie Bravo. Okay, let's me to start up and set the frequencies, and then continue the briefing after we set the frequencies and also after a start.
Aircraft weight and balance. So we needed 26.2.
Okay, the parking brake is set, and
that's enough gas. We do have an alternate
turn the
Bay, so it's close alternate, but we
got batteries master switches to on,
as you can tell here. And then I just randomized the cargo and
turn the fuel pumps to on.
Decent load right now. So we do have our fuel, our gate
mixture.
Fuel is on board. That looks good. We go ahead and get rid of that.
For a period of almost 5 seconds, 6 seconds to fully reach and lean it again.
Before you start moving the airplane. So those of you that have been around know that I do like using Sky Vector. I'm going to show you guys some Navigraph airways as well here. But on the Sky Vector flight plan log, I have highlighted all the frequencies for the VOR stations that you're going to be using as we track it down to Jamaica. So what I'm going to do is pull up the Navigraph page so you guys can see the actual course lines, which apparently I closed.
I don't know why I cannot hear the sound of this.
Closed the tab. Got our Navigraph charts on. So the Dolphin 6 or the Miami 6 is basically a radar vector departure to intercept Alpha 509 to Eons. So what we need to do here is set up Dolphin VOR, which is 113.9. So let's go ahead and start loading up all of our frequencies here. Why doesn't tell me I can't have an Navigraph on? Wow. We have other ways to do it. We're going to set 113.9 here. And then from Dolphin, we know our next waypoint is going to be 117.4. So I'm going to actually put that in the standby. So 117.4. And green, the light means it's active. So I'm actively trying to tune Dolphin, and I'm actively trying to tune Uniform Charlie Alpha, which is a little ways away. We probably won't get it, 117.4. But then in the backup here, I'm also going to put 17.4. And then after 117.4, I'm eventually going to be looking for Sangster, which is 15.7. So I'm going to set that over here in that standby. Now our first course line from Dolphin is going to be the 151 radial. So we're going to select course to 151. We know we want to join that outbound. 151. Where are you at? We want to join 151 outbound. Now the winds are out of the south this morning, so we're probably going to take off probably 12. So I'm just going to go ahead and set runway heading here in my heading mode of 120. Now I have these bound, so you can probably see. 120 runway heading, and we're eventually going to turn and join outbound to eons.
Okay,
the
the engine is started, but I have a problem about the sound of the
outbound Dolphin 13.9 is tuned up.
my X-plane. I don't know why, and maybe I
that's good. Both of these are
check
in
it
VOR.
again.
That looks
But
good. Our top altitude, we don't have any ATC, so we're going to set this to flight level 330 right off the bat.
Everything looks good with no.
And we are just about getting ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and close up the flight engineer panel here. Let's get our fuel pumps on.
Abnormality about the sound.
Hydraulics A. Come on. And B. That is good. Landing altitude up here on the panel here is just about 0 because we're landing basically sea level. 330 is set. Checking our oil quantity.
Okay. Currently everything is good, and let me to turn on the lights to on position. There is right now there is no need for the fuel pump. I will turn the fuel pump to on position after just before the takeoff. Let's go back to set up the frequencies. The VOR frequency is 113.45, 113.45. Which is set, and for the briefing, the VOR communication 113.45, which is set as you can see, and also final approach course 048. 048, which is currently set, and the procedure altitude at distance 7 mile from the actually VOR will be 3,000 feet, and decision altitude will be 1,100 feet. 1,100 feet as minimum. I will say I will set here 1,100. Sure, 1,100 feet as minimum. Okay, that's okay. And the CDI, and also PFD, bearing 1, bearing 2, and for the Camiso Charlie Oscar Mike, navigation 1, navigation 2, both set, and actually behind us show the navigate and the VOR, and okay. The VOR with the code Charlie Oscar Mike frequency will be 113.45, the final approach course 048, and the procedure altitude at distance 7 mile from the VOR, which is almost the final approach. Fix shall be 3,000 feet altitude, decision altitude will be 1,100 feet, and the airport elevation is 756 feet. Minimum sector altitude based on the minimum sector altitude based on the VOR from the section which we will operate and follow the procedure shall be 4,800 feet. For the misapproach procedure, actually after departure we will turn left as soon as possible on track 240 to join radial 270. Okay, we set the radial 270, and after departure let me set the heading to runway heading and set the actually outbound course to 270 for follow the misapproach procedure on radial 270. Okay, the course 270 is set. After departure we will follow the runway heading to safe altitude, then as soon as possible turning left on track 240 to join radial 270 climbing to 5,000 feet. Let me to set the altitude to 5,000, and at 4,000 not later than distance 10 nautical mile on radio 270 turn left to VOR at 5,000. Actually it means after departure as soon as possible we will turn left to follow track 240, then follow on radial 270 climbing 4,000 feet. After reaching 4,000 feet but not later than distance 10 nautical mile out of VOR, then turn left, return back to over the VOR and join the holding, actually maybe as a teardrop entry or parallel entry, which one is practicable. Enter the holding, and after that follow for Cat Alpha and Bravo aircraft, follow the radial 238 descending 3,000 feet, leaving 5,000 feet, descending 3,000 feet for the 9 nautical mile out of VOR on radial 238, then via left turn proceeding for radial or course 048 to join the final. After 9 mile inbound maintaining 3,000, after 7 mile inbound on final course descending to minimum, which is 1,100. Okay, in case of misapproach turn left as soon as possible on track 240 to join radial 270 climbing to 5,000 feet. At 4,000 not later than distance 10 nautical mile on radial 270 turn left to VOR at 5,000 feet. There is a note that DME required for this procedure. As you can see, this procedure is based on distance and not timing, and also we explain fully about the plan view and profile view of this approach, and on the minimum section we can see that the actually descent angle is based on 3 degrees, and for the straight in landing on runway 05 CDFA or continuous system final approach is based, and the decision altitude shall be 1,100 feet, which is already set. The minimum visibility for this procedure will be 1,300 meter. We will currently we have 5 kilometer visibility, and also in case of approach light system out, the minimum for category Alpha, which we are flying with the minimum will increase to RVR 1500 meters. Circle to land is not authorized southeast of the airport. The east of the airport, which is located this area, due to this mountainous area, which the peak or the highest altitude of 3,363 feet, there is not possible to follow the circle to land procedure from the right hand circuit and southeast of the airport. For this circle to land procedure, we are allowed to follow the procedure via northwest of the airport to join the procedure for the opposite runway landing. As you can see, high intensity approach light system available for the runway and PAPI lights on the both side, and we explained about the miss approach already. The chart is briefed, the minimum and the frequency is set, course also, and we are ready for departure. Again, we have a short brief that what can we do after departure. Maintaining runway heading to safe altitude, which will be 500 feet. After 500 feet AGL about the aerodrome level, we will turn left to track 240, then follow the radial 270 climbing 5000, but at 4000 feet, not later than distance or DME10 from the VOR, we will turn back on left to join the VOR and make a holding to start the procedure for landing on runway 05. Okay, fuel pumps on, lights already, and flaps 10 for departure. And we are fully ready for departure and maintaining runway heading 500 feet, turn left track 240. Speed alive. $60, and we are now airborne. Speed check, attitude correction, flaps up. Flight director, autopilot heading. Vertical speed 800 feet per minute. Nose down. Watching the speed. Turn left, heading 240. climbing 5,000 feet. Taxi light off. Okay, proceeding for best rate of climb speed VY, which is for the Cessna 74 knots. Okay, 74 reached, and based on 74 knots climbing. Okay, enter the strobe lights off because we are flying in clouds. Let's check the outside. Outside temperature is 9 degrees. Turn the pitot on. As you can see, the CDI is alive and turning right to follow the procedure on radial 270. Set the heading 265. Actually, and right now turning into heading 270. We are clear of clouds. Pitot hit off and follow the radial 270 out of the VOR and climbing 5,000. Actually, after reaching 4,000 feet, we will turn left, as you can see here, as soon as possible on track 240 to join radial 270, climbing to 5,000 feet. At 4,000 feet later than DME 10 on radial 270, turn left to VOR at 5,000 feet. Follow the CDI to be center and also climbing 5,000 feet. We are climbing with indicated airspeed 74, which is best rate of climb speed for the Cessna. Let me check the mixture. A little bit lean the mixture. This position is good and currently approaching 4,000 feet. Okay, 4,000 feet reached. Turning left to the VOR. Also, we can currently select the course 257, which is a inbound course for holding. 257. Yes, 257 is set. follow the needle for joining the VOR. Everything about the engine instruments are good. We are well clear about the clouds and proceeding on VFR condition, but actually, as you can see, we are following the IFR procedure. Okay, we are currently homing to the VOR and flying direct to the VOR. After reaching the VOR, which is almost 4 nautical miles ahead of us, we will continue for a teardrop entry and flying the 30 degrees to the left from the 077, which is actually we will continue on 047 degrees. Actually, we are reaching 5,000 feet. Okay, continue direct to the VOR. We are leveling off on 5,000 feet. Landing light off, fuel pump off, nav and beacon on. We can turn the strobe light to on position, and after reaching the VOR, we are proceeding on heading 047. The heading and track is equal because there is almost no wind condition currently, and there is no needs of correction for the heading during inbound and during the outbound and also inbound leg of the holding. Half nautical mile inbound to VOR. As you know, this is a slant range distance. A station is currently passing and turning right now. A station passage and on heading 074. Correction 047. Station passed, wings level, time checked and set for 1 minute. Maintaining 5,000 feet. "26 seconds. After the time completed, we will turn right to join the inbound leg of the holding on course 257 inbound to the VOR. Time checked, turning right. For this stage, when we perform the entry of the holding, we can intercept the inbound leg. Also, we can homing direct to the VOR, but it's better to intercept at this stage, because if you actually intercept the course 257 inbound to the VOR, for the rest of the holding procedure after entry procedure, you can follow the procedure and intercept again the course 257 after completion the entry, easier than when you fly direct to the fix. Currently trying to intercept course 257 inbound to VOR, and after reaching the VOR, enter the holding after the completion of the entry of the holding. As you can see, the heading is 250. We will turn back to heading 257. We are now on the course 257 inbound to VOR. The CDI is a little bit deflect to the right. Change the heading to 59er. Everything looks good. Approaching the VOR, and we are currently passing the 1.1 nautical mile inbound to VOR. Again, you know that this is a slant range and not direct range, and I set the heading 254 because we are approaching the VOR, and this deflection of CDI is normal, and we cannot follow at the better than this. Looks near the station over the VOR station passage performed, and currently we are turning right for heading 077. After the turn is completed, after the completion of the turn, we have two factors that shall be considered for check the time and hack the time and start the time. First, we can check that we are abeam of a station or not, and then the wings are level or not. Whichever is later, we can check the time and start the chronometer and timer. You can see we are looking to abeam the station, and also wings going to be level. Start the time on heading 077, which is the outbound leg of the holding procedure. We will continue again 1 minute and then turn right again. Turn right again on course 257 to complete the holding. Actually, the holding entry is completed, and we are enter the holding right now on 077 heading for outbound leg of the holding. We check the time again. It's 50 seconds. We which started the outbound leg of the holding, approaching to 1 minute. After reaching 1 minute, right now turning right for establish on course 257 inbound to VOR. After reaching the VOR, we can follow the course 238 and descending to 3000. Actually leaving 5000 feet, descending 3000 on course 238 or radial 238 from the VOR. Okay, let's need to set the heading. Everything looks good. 257. CDI deflected to the right. We will set the higher heading than 257. Reset the timer. We are flying inbound to the VOR. Almost 1 nautical mile inbound to VOR. Let me set the altitude to 3000. Approaching the VOR, let me set the course 238. Yes. After a station passage and after passing the VOR, continue on heading 238. Right now turning into heading 238 and descending. (3,000 feet). After a station passage, proceeding on the longer distance than 1 nautical mile and check the CDI. It is started to be center, but there is, as I guess, some correction to the left to make the easier center CDI or course deviation indicator, descending 3,000 feet. As you can see, we have 93 knots speed through airspeed, which is show us that for a minute we will continue and our movement for a minute will be 1.5 nautical mile. We will continue to 9 mile out of the VOR, and currently the 2 mile passed. Actually about 4 minutes we have time to reaching 9 mile on course 280. The CDI passed and proceeding on heading 240. 4 minutes and 1,500 feet. Remain to reaching the 3,000, but as you can see there is a turn after reaching 9 mile out, as I think minus 300 feet per minute is okay for the vertical speed, and we will be at 3,000 feet when completing this turn. Watching the CDI, it is center and this heading is good right now. Maybe, as I think, 239er is better. The speed is checked, also the vertical speed. everything is good, and we are on 5 mile. 4 mile ahead, maybe 3 minutes, and 1000 feet remain to reaching 3000, and this vertical speed is perfect currently. One to go. Let me set the heading to 36 to correct the CDI deflection, which is almost to the left, and bring the CDI center, and continue on course 238. 6 mile out of VOR and descending 3000 feet. Let me check the clouds, the environment, everything looks good, and going back into the instruments. Two degrees again to the left for the correction. The CDI 7 miles out and remained 2 miles ahead for the 9 miles out of the VOR on course 238. At the CDI getting center, heading 236 is good. Almost 600 feet to reaching 3000 feet. Eight miles, 8.2. This heading is good. Let me set the course 204. Eight. Reaching 9 mile and turning left for join the final. Maintaining 3000 after reaching. Check the course and also the top of the needle, which shows the station. The movement of the CDI is observed, which is already and not currently is alive. The CDI maybe turning into the closest heading. This heading is good. Maintaining 100 degrees. Wing is level. Turning left also to the closure heading, maintaining this heading to intercept the VOR on course 048. Check the distance and currently we are as you can see 3000 feet reached, and we do not like to accelerate more than this, and turning on heading 048 we are established on final. After passing 7 mile we can descend to 1100 feet. Okay, 7 nautical mile passed, VS selected, and descending with minus 300 feet per minute. Let me check the speed and distance. You can see the VOR is located 0.3 mile ahead of runway threshold, and you can see this distance also here. After reaching the minimum, which is located 1 mile inbound to VOR, we will continue for a visual, or if the runway not inside, continue for miss approach. 990 also for an 3 minutes to minimum. Let me increase the vertical speed to minus 400 feet per minute. Lower engine RPM to maintain this speed. A little bit 2 degrees to the left to make the CDI center. Check the altitude passing 2,400 feet. Actually 2 minutes to minimum, almost 1,300 above. Let me again increase the rate of descent to minus 600 feet per minute. Reduce the RPM. We do not accelerate more than this speed. CDI center back to 048. 049 selected. Descending 1,100 feet. A speed check. 1 to go. 2 mile to minimum. Almost 700, 900 feet to go. Check the CDI. Turn the heading to the left. CDI deflected to the left. 044. 045 is good. 2 mile, 1 mile ahead to minimum. Increasing the rate to minus 700 feet. Decelerating for flap, approaching minimum. Runway inside. Continue visual. Flaps 10. Speed check. Landing light, taxi light on, fuel pump on. Flaps 20. A little bit high, correcting the altitude. Observing the speed, 69. Over the VOR. Speed check. Threshold pass. Down to the runway. Flaring, maintaining. Braking slowly. Flaps up. Landing lights off. Fuel pump off. Strobe lights. Clearing the runway. We are on Charlie right now. Let's go more ahead toward the middle of the taxiway. This area is good. Let me set the parking brake and talk more about the procedure. Okay. As you can see, we are proceed the miss approach procedure after climbing on runway 05, turn back on track 240, and then on radial 270 climb to 4,000 feet for final altitude 5,000. Then after reaching 4,000 on radial 270, turn left to over VOR, made a teardrop entry of the holding, entered the holding and follow the procedure for Cat Alpha, and on radial 238 descend 3000, and after passing 7 mile on the final approach course, descend to minimum, which was 1100 feet. We can check the map of the flight. After takeoff, we turn to track 240, then intercept the radial 270, as you can see. Then after reaching 4,000 feet, turned left to over the VOR, which is located here. Then enter the holding via procedure turn or offset entry, and after reaching again to VOR, follow the holding procedure. After again reaching the VOR, on radial 238, establish here, continue, and then turn to the final and descending to minimum, and follow the final approach course on 048 and landed on the runway. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have any question, recommendation which can improve next videos and our profession and my profession actually, please do not hesitate and ask me. We'll be glad to hear from you, my friends, my subscribers, my dear friends. And also thank you very much for joining me today on board this Cessna 172, and to perform this procedure for the VOR Zulu runway 05 Lima, India. Charlie Bravo, Comiso Airport in Italy, and as you see, it is not complicated. Also, this procedure was not complex, it was very easy, and maybe during the next videos we will perform other types of non-precision approaches like NDB approach, also maybe with other type of aircraft and civil aircraft, commercial aircrafts, actually not general aircraft. We will continue to the RNAV approaches. We will perform ILS approaches and any kind of approaches, but actually it was a raw flying. As you can see, we will follow the procedure raw. We will continue on heading, we intercept the radials, perform the holding manually. Maybe on the next videos we will add the weather, we will add the wind in our weather to show you how we can make a correction to our heading, to our courses, to our heading, and our to make tracks to follow the procedure in windy or crosswind condition. Again, thank you very much, my friend, for joining me for this flight, and hope you have enjoyed this flight today, and hope to see you again in the next videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye.